Children, in this video I am going to start the new chapter number 3, values and data types. Okay, so now come to the concepts whatever we will be doing in this chapter. Introduction: what are the values and data types? What is Java character set? Java tokens, the types of Java tokens, keywords, identifiers, literals, punctuators, separators, operators. Then what are the identifiers and its naming convention? Okay, this is important as you can be asked for the what is an identifier, or you can be asked for writing down the naming conventions of identifiers. All the definitions are very important. You must be getting few questions from this chapter in your examination in 9th and in 10th also. Okay, like what are the Java tokens, its types, any two types, or what is an identifier, its naming conventions, literals, punctuators, operators, types, particular type of operator can be asked. Okay, so many short questions can be framed from these chapters, from chapter 1, 2, 3 and 4 also. Okay, so we will be doing these things in this chapter: escape sequences, punctuators, operators, its types, concept of data types, types of data types, the two types of data types, size and ranges of data types. Okay, you have to learn that, given in the book in the form of table. Variables or identifiers, how to declare and how to initialize a variable or an identifier. Few programs we will be doing, and what is the scope of a variable, or what do you mean by scope of a variable, symbolic constant, the use of final keyword, and type casting also. There are two types, implicit and explicit. We will be doing both type of type casting. So start with the chapter values and data types. Now, introduction. Java's statements and commands to write effective Java program, which include tokens, data types, variables, constants, operators, expressions, classes and methods, etc. If you have to write a Java program, children, if you have to write a Java program, then to write a program, what is a program? Set of executable statements. Means you will be writing statements in a Java program. How to write a statement? To write a Java program, you will write Java instructions or Java statements. Both are similar. Okay. So in order to write a Java program, you will be writing Java instructions or Java statements. How you can write a Java statement? Using Java tokens. Okay, using Java tokens. That includes the Java character set. As for example, if you have to write a statement in English, okay, so in that language also you have some characters. You have some set of characters. How to end a statement if you are writing an English statement. How to begin a statement. What will be the characters you can use? A, B, C, D. You have the set of characters now for if you are doing the English language. Okay, if you have to write a statement in English language, then you will be using some set of characters. You have to use them. Language is having some set of character, every language. So Java is also a programming language. If you have to write a program in Java language, you will be writing Java statement, and Java statement can be written using Java character set. Okay, that are categorized into different types. These are the Java tokens. Okay, the smallest individual unit is known as Java tokens. Different type of tokens are there. I will be telling you later on. Okay, so in order to write a Java program, in program you are using Java language. So to write a statement or instruction using Java language, you will be needing the Java tokens, as these are having the Java character set. Okay, you must be needing the Java character set to write a Java instruction or Java statement. So Java character set. Java program contains sequence of characters, okay, to represent a statement. Program contains set of statements and set of characters are used to represent a statement. Okay, how you can write a statement using different set of characters. Fine. So definition is the set of valid characters that a language can recognize is known as character set. A 16-bit character code set that encode characters used in language is known as Unicode character set. 16-bit. Bit is the smallest unit. If we are talking about size, bit is the smallest unit. Okay. 8 bits are equivalent to 1 byte. Byte is bigger than bit. Bit is the smallest unit and 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. Okay. Suppose 8 bits. 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, 4 bit, 5 bit, 6 bit, 7 bit, 8 bit. Suppose these are 8 bits. So this will constitute 1 byte. This is the smallest. Bit is the smallest unit. Okay. Now character set supported by Java can be categorized as follows. Alphabets. How many alphabets? 26 uppercase, 26 lowercase letters, represents by the alphabets A to Z and A to Z. Capital and small, 26 characters. These alphabets are there in the character set supported by Java. What else? 10 digits, or you can say numerals from 0 to 9. Then special characters. These special characters are available, okay, in Java character set. Fine. You have the list in your books. All these are the special characters which are included in Java character set. You can use in your program as per your requirement. Okay. Small letters A to Z, capital letters A to Z, 0 to 9 numbers, numerals, digits and special characters or white space characters. White space characters can be of different type. White space using a space bar. Then tab. In tab you can set the value more than 1 also. If you set 7, then whenever you are going to press tab key, this will leave 7 spaces. Okay. This is the use of tab. Carriage return, space bar, form feed and new line also. New line you know very well. So all these are the white space characters you can use, as these are supported by the Java. Okay. And these help you in writing a Java statement. Now Java tokens. If you are writing a Java program, the smallest individual entity in a program, is known as Java token. Okay. If you have written a Java program, there must be few statements. Each and every smallest entity that is used to perform an operation is known as a Java token. Fine. Now there are few types of tokens. Keywords. Second is identifiers or variables. Third is literals or constants. Fourth is punctuators or separators used to separate two tokens, and operators. Okay. Now firstly we will discuss keywords. Keywords are the special words which have some special meaning. Keywords are the words which have some special meaning in that particular language. These words are predefined. They have some meaning already defined to the compiler. Okay, so these are the words that convey some special meaning to the language compiler, and in this case we are using Java language, so special meaning to Java compiler. Okay, known as keywords. Listen very carefully. Keywords are the words which conveys some special meaning to the Java compiler. Okay, Java compiler knows the meaning of these words which are already defined in the language. Okay, these are having some special meaning. As I told you, class is a keyword that is used to define a class. So class in small letters is a keyword. You can't take this as an identifier name. Okay, you can't take this name, you can't use this name as a class name. This is used to define a class, and a compiler knows very well if class in small letters written, this is a keyword, and after that whatever you are going to write, that will be the name of the class, as this keyword is used to define a class. Compiler knows this, as this is a special word having a special meaning that is already defined compiler. Okay, there are few examples of keywords. Few we know very well, like what we have used till now. Void you have used already. Then any else? Public, static, void, main, all these are keywords. Okay, as these have some special meaning in the language. So public, static, void, main, string, capital S, all these are keywords, and this is the list of few other keywords also. You have to go through this. You can be asked for the what is a keyword, give some examples or write some examples, or you can have a list of words and you can have to tell that whether it is a keyword or not. So you must be able to identify whether it is a keyword or not. Okay, but you have the question like what is a keyword, write some examples. Okay, so all these are keywords. Abstract is a keyword, case, continue. You will be doing almost all the keywords later on. Now come to identifiers or variables or names. Identifiers or identifier name or variables. Variables you know very well, two things, variable and constant. Variable, the value of that can be vary. Constant will be having a constant value that cannot be changed during the program execution, and the value of a variable can be changed. We can change during the program execution. The value of variable can be changed during program execution, and the value of constant cannot be changed. That will be final value. Okay, can't make change in that value if you have declared a variable as constant. Now identifiers. Identifiers are simply used to identify an object, identify a variable. These are the names actually given by you. You will be given these names. Okay, like if you are writing a name for a class, display. So display is the name of that class. It's an identifier. How we can identify that particular class? By this name, display. Okay, so that is identifier. So names can be given to class as well as to function. You will be naming a class, a function and a variable also. All these are identifiers. The names of class, the name of variable, the name of constant, the name of function, all these will be in category of identifiers, because you are giving these names to identify that particular entity. Okay, so these are identifiers. Now definition: the names or words defined by user other than the keywords which can change their values in the program are known as variables or identifiers. Now remember, we are talking about variables only in this definition. We are not taking constants here. Okay, so the word or names given by the user, okay, except the keywords, other than the keywords. You can't take keyword as an identifier name. You can't take switch as a name of class, name of function, and a name of variable. You can't take this. Okay, this one is a keyword. You can't take keywords as an identifier name or name of variable. Variable means value of that can be changed during program execution. Okay, I think this one will be clear to you now. Now moving forward to the rules, or you can say the identifier naming conventions. There are some rules, few rules how to write an identifier name or word, whatever, for a variable. Identifiers may consist of, cannot be a keyword. This is the main, always remember. Okay, cannot be a, you can't take a keyword as identifier name. Then identifier may consist of alphabets, both uppercase, lowercase. It may contain digit, may contain underscore and dollar. Remember, in the identifier name you can use any alphabet, any number you can use, and only two special characters you can use, that is underscore and dollar sign. Okay, if you want to use any special character in your identifier name, you can use only two, underscore and dollar. Okay, no other special character is permitted. You have the list of special characters I have shown you. You have in your books. No other special character can be used in identifier name. Okay, you can use the uppercase, lowercase characters, alphabets and numbers, digits from 0 to 9, and special character only two permitted, underscore and dollar. No other special character can be used. Keywords or reserve words cannot be used as identifier names. Okay, you must remember. No comma or blanks are allowed within an identifier. Okay, you can't take comma or space in the name of a identifier, in the name of a variable. Okay, must not begin with a digit. First letter of an identifier must be an alphabet. I told you the first rule. You can have alphabets A to Z, from A to Z, and digits also you can have within a name, but you can't start an identifier name with the digit. You have to start, must begin with alphabet. Fine. They can be of any length. You can take 6 characters, 10, 20, any number of characters. It can be of any length, but it can be short. It's not a rule. It can be of any length. So you can take 20-50 characters, but that is not user friendly. Okay, so you have to take a meaningful name, you should take, and can be short also. Now Java is a case sensitive language, which means the uppercase and lowercase alphabets are different for Java. So suppose you have written num. This num and this num both are different, as the n is capital here and n is small here. So capital N and small n are two different things. Okay, so this is one identifier name, this is another. Okay, remember, always remember. Fine. Now you know the rules how to name an identifier. There are few examples of valid and invalid identifiers. Okay, max This one is valid? Yes, valid. Having characters, having alphabets. This one is also valid. This one is valid. Now come to invalid. Okay. Date of birth. Invalid. Why? Because hyphen, this special character is there, and we can't use underscore and dollar. We can use only, we can't use any other special character in identifier name. Long, everything is okay. Length, no special character, alphabets only, but it's a keyword, okay, to declare a variable as long type. Okay, that is why this one is invalid. First number invalid, as we can't start with digit. Principal value invalid, as space is there and we can't leave any space within the identifier name. Okay, any special character other than underscore and dollar. Fine. Now again, simply the naming convention of identifiers or variables. All public method and instance variables start with a leading lowercase alphabet. Name of method, remember, अगर methods की बात कर रहे हैं, in case of methods, the name of method will start with a lowercase letter. Okay. Private and local variables use only lowercase alphabets combined with underscores. Okay. Length, principal amount, two words are there, so we are using the underscore between them. More than one word are used in an identifier. The second and subsequent words should begin with an uppercase alphabet. If there are more than one words, see, the letters of first word are in lowercase and the initial of other words will be capital. Remember, okay, there are two words, second word initial is capital, but in the first word all the letters will be in lowercase. Okay. Now, and if there is only one word, the lowercase letters will be there like this. Now come to classes. Word, if there is a single word, then also the initial will be capital. The first letter will be in uppercase. If more than one word, then the initial of all the words will be in capital. Like motorcycle, there are two words, so initial of motor and initial of the first letter of cycle, both are in capital letters. Employee, one word, but the initial is capital. In case of method, first word will be in small letters and rest of the words initial will be capital. But in case of classes and interfaces, in all the words the first letter will be in capital. Okay. Now symbolic constants should use all uppercase alphabets and underscore between each words. Okay. Like for pi, if you have to calculate, use a formula that is including value of pi, then you will be writing pi as pi in capital letters. Okay. This will be a constant actually. The value of pi will not be changing in the program. The value of pi will be same throughout the program. Okay. So for the constant you can use the uppercase letters in all the words, and if more than one word, then underscore between them. Now come to literals and constants. Entity which do not change, remains fixed in the program is known as literals or constants. Variables, the value of variables may vary during program execution. Variables means vary. Okay. The value of that can be vary during program execution, and the value which do not change, the entity which do not change, remains fixed in the program is known as literal or constant. And the types of literals or constants are, integer literal, floating point literal, character literal, string literal, boolean literal and null literal. Okay, integer literal for the whole numbers. Okay, plus minus can be there, but for the whole numbers, no fractional part is there. Literals or constant which contains one or more digits without any fractional part, signed or unsigned you can have. Fine. Now integer and literals or constant, these are further divided into following three categories: decimal base, octal base and hexadecimal base. Integer literal which consists of combination of digits from 0 to 9. Decimal base, decimal number system have numbers from 0 to 9. Total in decimal number system there will be 10 numbers from 0 to 9. As we are starting with 0, so the end number will be 9. Fine. So the decimal integer literal will be having numbers or digits from 0 to 9. Must not begin with digit 0. Remember. Okay, decimal integer literal. Octal, the base of octal number system is 8, as this number system is having numbers from 0 to 7. Okay, so it consists of any combination of digits from 0 to 7. 8 digits total with a leading 0. This one is must not begin with 0. This one is leading 0. Now come to hexadecimal. Hexadecimal number system base is 16, as this number system having 16 numbers from 0 to 15, and 9 onwards there will be A to F alphabets, A to F, capital A, B, C, D, E, F, instead of 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Remember. Okay. So it consists of combination of digits from 0 to 9 digits, and A to F. For A, from A to F with a leading OX or 0x or 0 capital X. And A to F substitutes the numbers from 10 to 15. Okay, these are the example of this. Comma is not allowed between any integer literal. You can't put comma. 32,000 you have to write directly 32000. Space is also not allowed between the numbers. If this one is octal integer literal, 9 is not allowed. This is invalid. Okay, if this is octal integer literal, as octal base is 8, from 0 to 7 digits is allowed. This one space is not allowed, and this one H is not allowed. Hexadecimal, the alphabets from A to F only can be there. Okay, now floating point or real literals, these are used to represent the real value of a variable, so of a constant, of a literal. Floating point, floating point or real literal can have the fractional part. Okay, a real literal is a number with fractional part, integer part followed by decimal point, then at least one digit. For example, 35.4. Integer part, then fractional part, in between decimal. These are few more examples of that. Can be signed positive or negative. Okay. Now fractional form and exponential form. Real or floating literal in fractional form must have at least one digit before and one digit after the decimal point. If it is in fractional form, there can be at least one digit before and one digit after the decimal. Okay. And exponential form, A real or floating literal in exponent form contains a mantissa and an exponent. Mantissa and exponent have to be there. Mantissa must be either an integer or a real literal followed by a letter E or capital E or small e. This stands for E stands for exponent. And the exponent must be an integer literal. Okay. For example, this 325 exponent is 0, 4. Fine. And there are some list of invalid real literals like 45 decimal. Okay, after decimal also there can be at least one digit before, so this one is also invalid. Not a real literal, it's an integer literal only. Comma is not allowed. 2 decimal points are not allowed. No digit is specified for exponent. This is mantissa. And what about the exponent? So this is also invalid. And this, so invalid because exponent must be an integer literal. Okay, cannot be a fractional.